Dan Reichert, it's time to golf.
I like golfing.
Of course you do.
In video game form.
Well, yes,
only.
video game golf, not real golf, because who has time to walk around? We're joined by Three Fields Entertainment, who's here with Dangerous Golf. We're here with Alex Ward. How you doing, sir?
Hey, Jeff. How are you?
Good. I'm doing really well. And we're here with Chris Roberts, also of Three Fields.
Hi, how's it going?
It's going well. So, golf. Tiger Woods, leaderboard, PGA Tour,
Showing your age now,
NES
leaderboard.
golf.
Leaderboard.
NES golf.
Yeah.
It's just called golf, right?
It's just called golf.
Yeah.
I won some money playing that golf game.
Did you?
We hustled some people when I was a kid.
Really?
Me and my dad had a golf tournament on original
On
golf.
NES?
Yeah. And stole some money. So
Leaderboard, then, showing your age. Bruce Carver,
yeah.
1984.
Yeah, I had a.
Who made Raid Over Moscow?
It came with a dongle that I had to plug in before it
Really?
would work. Yeah. I had to plug into the other.
Leaderboard, yes, it did,
Leaderboard
didn't it?
had
Yeah,
a-
it
had
did.
a
It was like a
security
security
console.
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Had it on cassette. It was published by a company called US Gold in
Right,
England, who
yeah.
imported, bought the American software and released them in Europe.
And then US Gold seemed like they were
Zap 64
everywhere.
gold medal, very good cover by Oliver Frey.
Oh.
For all the old school News 4 fans, but yeah, very good game.
Yeah.
First proper video game golf game I've ever played.
Yeah, that's probably mine as well.
NES golf, I didn't think was very good.
It was not great, but it was what you had at the time.
I had it on Game Boy.
Lynx. Any Lynx players here?
Yeah, Links.
What?
here and there.
A little bit of that.
Yeah, a little bit
Little
of Links.
bit.
A little bit of Links.
He died, I
Links.
think. Access Software, Bruce and Roger Carver. I think he passed away a few years ago.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I think you're
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So you guys, this is the first game from Three Fields.
Yeah.
Previously, both of you have a long and storied history with the Burnout franchise.
It's funny when you hear it called a franchise.
That's right.
Yeah,
It never felt to us like it was a
It was
franchise.
just you
really.
were
It was just
making a
really
series of cool driving games.
franchise. Assassin's Creed is a franchise.
Okay, how about we'll say this. The intellectual property known as
The
Burnout, does that make you
intellectual
feel any
property.
better, or does that actually make you feel worse?
I don't know how intellectual we are.
The IP.
Yeah, IP.
Yeah.
We are IP creators. I guess so.
So you're here with your latest IP, Dangerous.
Our latest IP. Our first IP from Three Fields.
Yeah.
Shall we tell you why it's called Three Fields for a start?
I actually, yes.
Do you know that?
What are the Three Fields?
Three Fields are whatever the three things you can have. So we had to find a company name when we formed the company a couple of years ago, and I got the script to Interstellar off the internet because I wanted to read about it because I'm a big Christopher Nolan fan. And there's a line in the script, because we went to see the movie and I was like, wait for it, and it wasn't in the film. So that was great.
Yeah.
There's a line in the film where Matthew McConaughey gets a chance to go on the rocket, and he said, "Why are you asking me?" And the other character says, Anne Hathaway's character says, "We're looking for people who are skilled in at least three fields." And one of the things we wanted to do as being a new independent studio is that we wanted to move away from what we called siloed development, which was in our past life, where people only do one thing. And we didn't think that was a particularly great way to work, so we looked for people who can do more than one thing. So we want designers who can do some artwork, and we like artists who can like to do a bit of design, and we like people to poke our nose in. Probably
Right,
like what you
yeah.
want to do here. If people poke their nose in and do all different things, you can normally get good software. Software is made by a team. It's all about collaboration. It's about iteration. It's about coming together. It's about playing it and saying, how can we make it better? And you can't do that when you're waiting for an email to happen or
Right,
feeling
yeah.
like you can't contribute. So
Everybody cares.
We were pretty successful, really successful about what we did before, but we always looking for new ways to improve. So that's why our company is called Three Fields Entertainment. I did read on the internet the day we founded, somebody said it sounds like an old person's home. Which is probably true because we're all a bit older, but it's called Three Fields because we want people to do more than one thing.
Sure, and I guess that would
And
that
all
would
the
make
other
sense
names
for,
like Valve and Gearbox and Sparkplug and all that was kind of taken.
Right, yeah.
So
All the stuff that was just like, here's something mechanical, it's
here's
a
something
physical
mechanical,
manifest thing.
which really didn't feel like us. So I came in and said, okay, the company name is Three Fields Entertainment, and we're making a game called Dangerous Golf.
Do all three?
On the first day.
Do all three fields need to be tied to video game development, or can one of them be like cooking?
We'd probably take if it was cooking.
Okay.
Could be.
yeah.
Yeah. Ideally, we're just looking for people who've got something to say, got an opinion, and can fit in and want to be working as part of a team. I think one of the big things on video games is made by teams. We often see these projects where people, I don't know. What I've learned in the past couple of years is that a lot of people out there have no idea pretty much how games are made. It's like a dark art or a mystery process. You probably know more about how a TV show is made or how a movie is made, or you see people on the street making a movie or a show, particularly here. You don't see people on the street making a game.
Yeah, the thing that I kind of picked up over the years as kind of an outsider looking in that gets to talk to people that make games is that maybe it's miraculous that any game ever ships ever. because it seems incredibly difficult to do.
Can be, yeah.
That seems to be a somewhat of a running theme. But you guys are
Well,
pretty
our
close to
things-
getting this done.
Yeah, we are. We're finishing pretty much this week, and we hope to get it out for June the 3rd on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox One.
Cool.
So, as an indie team, 11 of us, haven't made a game on these systems before, so it's our first one. Working on Unreal Engine 4, great engine which we've never worked on before, and we bit off quite a lot. So we're doing co-op play, we're doing online play.
Cool.
It's a big game, but let's be honest, a lot of work, an intense amount of work. So people were writing to us all through the year saying, "Are you coming to this show? And we're going to see you at this. We're going to see you at E3." And it's
like
kind of, sorry, we're really busy doing the game.
Hiding in one of the 3 fields.
Can you make it?
Working on a game.
Can you
That's
make
right.
a trailer? And it's like, no, we're pretty much busy doing all the work.
Yeah.
No, we're translating our store text into 28 languages today. And we'll come and see you, and you can show our game.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at it. Chris, you have a controller over there.
Sure. Okay.
So again, we'll talk you through it. There's 10 tours in the game. You go around the world and you unlock different abilities at the end of each tour. And you play for dollar damage and you play for gold medals.
There's something about this font work that I can't quite
top
put
left one
my
in particular?
finger on it. It's just something familiar about it, but it's probably just, I don't know, I'm probably just crazy.
I feel something in the Force. It's a feeling I've not felt since.
Yeah, something along.
Or is it like that bit in the opening credits of the A-Team when you see Face and the Cylon walks past and he kind of nods? And you always see that was really good. Anyway, Chris will just play the game. So we have connected leaderboards, and we started off by saying golf's boring, golf games are boring, golfers are boring, golf games made for golfers are probably quite boring. Although leaderboard was quite good, back in the day.
It was a different time.
We didn't want to make a golf game. We formed as a company and we wanted to do something new. And we sat around and our brilliant engineers, Paul, Phil, and Alex, we said, what are we going to do? And they said, well, what we're going to do is start thinking about what's a PlayStation 5 or a PlayStation 6 physics engine look like. So we wanted to make a physics-based game. We wanted to learn a lot about physics, which we didn't do. So we wanted to make a game about destruction. So the concept is obviously smash the place up and bang the ball in the hole with a trick shot. And the first thing I ever watched on Netflix, which I got the month before we founded, was a documentary called The Short Game. And we suddenly thought, well, golf and destruction, golf is just ripe for a takedown, shall we say, no pun intended.
Sure.
Let's just make a golf game then about destruction and physics and fun and be inspired by what we've done before, because that's in our DNA, but also take it to a new place. Because we look back with nostalgia for a little bit, but we want to see what we can do to take it forward.
Right.
So there's some cards come up with the different primitives of how you play the game. Obviously, you have to earn a smash breaker and set the ball on fire and do some damage. Chris is just going to play it, and then I guess we'll talk about it. So Chris looks around, just play it.
Okay. So this is start. I'm going to start by teeing off. I'm going to look at the room. I can see there's some targets in the room.
So can you smash down all the goblets and get all the champagne? And if you do, you get a smash down bonus. And if you hit them both, you get a double smash down bonus.
All right.
And then you do a big trick shot.
Okay.
So you start off, this is first hole in the game. You hit the champagne and the corks will pop and you take down these goblets. And it's all physics where our engineers were talking and were saying, look, game worlds are really static and everything's kind of nailed down. And we wanted to make a mess. So this is the mess simulator. Wanted to make a mess and wanted to play with that mess.
So in a normal golf game, I'd be really happy about where the ball has landed here, and I'd just tap it in, and that will be the end.
Right.
But
Because you'd be playing for par,
Yeah.
and that'd be quite dull. We don't want to make a game for par, we want to make a game for score. Can you do better than me? So Chris does smash breaker, he press the circle button and he can move the stick in a different direction. But he knocks down, he's doing pretty well here. So none of this debris is cleared up, and this is all physics. This is a pretty CPU intensive game. Here's a lot of rigid bodies. We wanted to play with making a mess. So again, where do you want to make a mess? You want to make a mess in a kitchen.
Yeah.
You want to make a mess in a beautiful palace. You want to break expensive things.
Right.
So we want to explore physics, and we wanted to explore liquids, something called smoothed particle hydrodynamics. So then we chose Unreal Engine. We prototyped the game in Unity for a while. And again, I wanted to make a game that was probably a cross between, I don't know, Crash Mode and NBA Jam.
Right.
And make it with a golf game. So that's obviously setting a ball on fire and a heightened state. I was a big fan of Jam. Chris can put it in here, so he scores for distance and he scores for ricochets.
Is there a concept like par at all here?
No.
Okay, so
If it
can
was
you just
par,
keep doing
it-
smash breakers, or
if
do you
it
have
was-
to fill the meter?
Just one.
This one. If there was par, you wouldn't take a risk on the shot.
Gotcha.
Because par's golf. And
Nice.
I think we made a sign and thought if we ever think we're making a golf game, we're probably doing something wrong. So we didn't want to make a golf game. So Chris gets his score, and we total it up, and we give you a score. And if you get a bronze, you can go to the next one.
And this is the first hole in the game.
So he scored for being blind. You also score for things going down the hole. So when we play in some levels that have got food in them, you score for putting food and things down the hole.
okay.
And Chris is the designer of the game, so obviously he gets a platinum
Yeah.
medal when he comes to
Phew.
America.
I was gonna say, it's how would a normal player know how to line up some of these shots? Like it seems like there aren't, like I'm not necessarily seeing like you think about a golf game, you think about like lines and aiming and like all this other stuff.
Golf is a game of precision and a game of failure, and the reason why I don't think you play them is because they've got quite complicated controls.
Yep.
Unless Nintendo have made it. You screw up on the first one. It's a par 3. Your ball's up on the first one. And then you miss, and then you kind of 10 over on the first hole, and putting's
Yep.
really hard because it draws a grid. Then you just kind of screw it up, and then you don't want to play, and it's 18 holes, and it takes 50 hours.
Yep.
And
You have summed up the problem with golf games.
funny that. Thought about it for a rather
yeah,
long
almost,
Thought about that
almost as
one.
if, yeah.
thought about it, and you just think, golf, can we make a fun game out of golf? Yeah, I think we probably can have a go. When we made Revenge, Crash Mode in Revenge was a bit of, we were thinking about golf back then. But what we never did with the driving stuff, we never said, can you take down all the red cars, or can you make this happen with this?
Right.
So again, the shorthand for this is a lot of people will think it's Burnout as a golf game, where it kind of is and it isn't, but
Similarities, but
we're only this the past 16 years of our life you're talking about. So we're not going to make a cinematic RPG for our first game, really, are we?
Yeah.
We're going to do some of the stuff we've done, and we're trying to take it to a new place. And this is, I'm sure you'll play it. It's a bit familiar. It's probably a third familiar and a third new and a third really new. So again, we're showing you the straight stuff.
so
There's a lot of strange
three
stuff in it.
fields is what you're saying.
Could be.
Okay.
Could be. There's 3 fields to the game. Yeah.
And,
So-
and unlike the first hole, this one is a bit more complex, and you can see that this entire room is up for grabs. So everything in this room breaks.
So we play with the mechanics quite a lot. So here again, you've got to get Smash Breaker in 45, and this hole's called Shake It Off, and the targets are 3 champagne bottles. Now what's really fun, Jeff, is that we can play this game in co-op, and it's turn-based, and it's true card game, and you can sign in with 2 profiles and play it. And I hope you have a lot of fun playing it in co-op. If you manage to get the smash down player 1, the bottles will reset for player 2. So if you're playing with 2 players of different skill levels, then it's like bowling and you're trying to finish the spare, right? It's like playing bowling 2 players. You're trying to get the smash down to get the bonus, and if you're a really good player, you can get double smash down. So Chris can go around here and he can smash the place up because there's a lot of destructibles and rigid bodies here. And then obviously if we're playing co-op, I would then play in the destroyed scene. So
Right,
we'd have to work
okay,
together and
yeah.
say, well, what are you going to leave me? Smash Breaker in 45. Okay, you take the stuff on the left, leave the stuff on the right for me.
Can
And
you
this is-
control the power of the first shot, like the drive, basically? Or
Not
is it
really.
always
Yeah,
just a
you
really
can.
hard shot?
Well, it's a golf game, so obviously there's brake and accelerate in it. So you can. We'll show you some different shots in a
I've
minute.
got a laser.
Chris has got something here. He's unlocked the whole game, right? So he unlocks this later on. He's unlocked pistol putt there, so he can use a laser beam
Nice.
and pull trick shots off. And that's the second one called Shake It Off. So you play in a palace in France. You play in a gas station in Australia. You play in a castle in England, and you play in a restaurant, a kitchen, and a bathroom in America, and we'll show you some of that in a minute. And you play in the bathroom, which is suspiciously like the one in the film True Lies from 1994.
Fantastic.
Although I have been told not to say that because nobody remembers old action films.
No,
but funnily enough, everybody remembers.
I feel like we
Everybody, everywhere we've been, kind of remembers True Lies.
I watched Commando yesterday.
Did you really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love Commando.
I like
it
you,
was
Bennett. That's why I'm going to kill you the last. If they made that film again, Bennett wouldn't wear that mesh shirt.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work
It's like
anymore.
fake chainmail.
It
Not
was-
particularly intimidating.
But I did think
so-
in the Burger Off then, Chris, I did think the trailer for that movie was amazing, and I do think the stunt where he swings down on that to land on the lift in the
On top of the elevator?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I had that movie for my birthday, I think, when I was about 14. I think
One year we stayed in the.
it doesn't hold up. I'm not sure it holds
Commando?
up.
Yeah.
Oh, it holds up.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, we just
really?
go back and watch it.
Conan the Barbarian probably holds up. Oliver Stone. Commando, it's probably because that mesh shirt.
Those last 30 minutes, they're perfect.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Don't you wish you could sniff someone coming to your log cabin from miles away whilst carrying a tree trunk?
What, you can't? That's
I haven't got a log cabin in the woods, Jeff.
all right.
So this whole place in the kitchen. This is called Burger Off. You have to get the burgers down. And again, where's a fun place to make a mess? Make a mess in a kitchen. If you leave children and say don't touch anything. Don't pause for me, Chris. Chris is putting it in slow motion on R1.
Yeah, with danger time.
And again, you can break all these on. So you
Nice.
score for putting food down the hole and wrecking the lights and trying to get the smash down. You'll play in this kitchen. There's various different things to activate. There's a mop bucket there, and the ability to ride in mop buckets is unlocked later in the game. That's called a bucket blast. So the mechanics scale as you play through the game. So Chris goes in a putt here, and again,
So my flag is there.
So then, as you unlock these different mechanics, then you have a reason to go back and play
then you
the
can
earlier
go back
levels.
and try and increase your score. Because we like playing for score, right? That's in
Yep.
our DNA. It always has been. We like playing for score. We like games where you can beat your friends. We like games where you can play in co-op. Now, Chris is doing really well. If he ever misses the shot, you lose 50% of your score. So you can't just do really well and smash the jump up. And that door has a padlock on it, because later on, Smashbreaker, you'll be traveling to different rooms, and you use Smashbreaker to open doors.
Okay.
So there's a few different odd mechanics that come into the game. So you score for either things going down the hole or taking down there all the oranges, or you've cored all the apples. And Chris gets a silver. Not that good, Chris, to be honest.
No, I didn't get the smash down. I didn't get all the burgers.
Didn't get the smash down.
it-
Fiona Sperry, our CEO, she's testing all the co-op mode. Well, I think she's just gone to bed, but right now. So again, if you're playing it on your own, you have to get the smash down on the first shot every time. She's been doing that for the past 7 hours, which is quite challenging. So again, you pull the triggers to go into putt, and then when you're in Smashbreaker, it's like driving the Warthog. So the right stick is the camera, and pushing forward picks your direction where you want to go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Where are we going now, Chris?
Well, should we do buckets?
I would
or
do.
should we
No,
blow
too
some
early. I
petrol
would
pumps?
do. No, you haven't done Tough Crowd, my friend.
Oh yeah, let's go.
How
to
about
the
that?
crowd. That's a good idea.
And of course, what we never had back then in styles of games like this that we made, we never had connected leaderboards. So that's another. You didn't have that really on the PlayStation 2.
Right, yeah.
Even, so that was kind of a fun thing. So we want to make a game where we're exploring physics and mess and seeing what we can do with dynamic environments where we can keep things around. Because game environments are very, very static. It's character walks through a beautiful 3D world, and you can't really interact with anything.
Right,
And we
then
wanted to explore whether that's possible to do stuff with
And then even the physicsy games seem to be
a physics demo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in a lot of cases. Or there's, a very narrow path for gameplay through the physics.
Well, we've been working with Epic and NVIDIA for the past probably couple of years. And this came from Paul and Phil and Alex looking at papers coming out of SIGGRAPH around the
Yeah.
time we formed of 2013. And they were looking at, again, what's next-gen physics look like. So this is one of my holes. It's called Looks Like a Tough Crowd, and you have to smash all the statues down.
Nice.
So again, we're starting to look
wow.
about looking at destruction, and Phil was looking at liquids, and we were looking at. There's a couple of papers that came out from some guys at NVIDIA. One was a guy called Miles Macklin, and the other guy was a paper by a guy called Matthias Müller. And we're looking at again incredibly powerful physics demonstrations that took kind of a week to render.
Yeah.
And we're thinking, when are we going to? What's a future game like? I imagine a future fighting game would be like a fight in a movie, like Commando,
Right,
where you'd
yeah.
be smashing up the
See all
environment
the-
and
yeah.
putting the guy's head in the piano, playing with the environment a lot more. And we're just not there yet, because a lot of stuff we looked at, we started to look at what was happening in movies, and that's another great shot, Chris. And looking at what happens in movies, and the audience see big budget movies and they see great action and destruction. And the hardware is getting more powerful all the time, but it was a great shot. The hardware is getting more powerful all the time, and we want to push the boundaries about what's possible, particularly with physics. And liquids, there's a lot of stuff we want to do with. If you're playing on PC, you see flex particles running on the PC version. With
Yeah, I was
stuff
going to say, on
hitting the
a
screen.
properly outfitted PC.
Yeah, so
like-
we set up, with the help of NVIDIA, we set up a very high-end PC, so it's a dual Titan X SLI, water-cooled PC, which gives us big power. And that's what we want to do. We wanted to work with the most powerful hardware and see what we can do so that when it comes around, we feel like we're a bit more comfortable with it.
Right, like more ready to
Yeah,
kind
we're,
of go
on
and explore
PC,
that.
on PC, we're mixing it in Dolby Atmos, which not many people have. I certainly don't have.
Yeah.
Because we want to, as a small company, we have big ambition. We want to work with the best technology, and we want to look at the high end and get really excited about what can be done, rather than pumping out a lot of games on a lot of consoles.
To that end, I mean, maybe not for this game, but somewhere down the line, I mean, what do you guys make of virtual reality these days? Like it seems like there's a direction.
I think my Vive has just shipped, but we haven't seen it. We were looking at what we've got. We're looking at it. We've got
very exciting.
We've got an Oculus one. I think the early titles are pretty fun. Oculus has showed us a couple of cool titles that I don't think are out yet. I haven't seen the PlayStation stuff because that's all it shows, and we haven't gone to any shows ever. The Vive shipped. I want to take a look. I saw some of you guys' videos, and it was looking pretty good. So I'll have to see. I think VR is interesting. I think it's a must-try experience. But I think we're very in the early days of it. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll let you know when I've played on it. You've played on it, not me.
Yeah,
Well, it's on the floor there, isn't it?
Yes, we've
With the controllers.
very carefully
Neatly
bundled it.
packed away on the floor.
A snake of cables.
Yeah.
Sure to trip someone.
Yeah. So this is another hole here. This is the first hole where there's multiple flags. There's multiple flags which are money flags, and you get a bonus kicker if you can sync the money flags in order and then shoot the finish flag. But it's risk reward. If you miss, obviously you lose 50% of your score. A skilled player will sync all the flags in order and then shoot the finish flag.
Now, did you go to Australia to truly capture the Australian gas station?
Yeah, because we're
experience?
absolutely massive, all multi-millionaires.
Yeah, so of course you're going.
We gassed up at Gulfstream 5.
Kojima's learning CQC in LA. I can only assume.
Paul Ross took us there to his private island, and we, obviously everything we do, we go to all the locations. So we did go just to France just to make that game level. We went all the way down to Australia. We went to Queensland to do this. Our audio guy, Johnny Gus, is from Melbourne, so we went down to do that, to take photos, because obviously we couldn't just make a fun, stupid computer game without doing painstaking reference.
Realism is everything. I don't know if
as
you know
can
this.
see, absolutely. So that's what we did. We all became professional golfers making this game. So in between
Nothing
making
disgusts me more than pretenders.
pretend developers, we did become professional golfers and had many hours of practice, ably demonstrated by Chris missing.
Are there
Chris
any golf clubs in this game?
No.
There's not one rendered golf club?
No.
Awesome.
There's no golfer. So golf, like I said, let's just talk about that for a minute. So golf, when Hollywood makes a film about golf, they make Caddyshack, Tin Cup, or Happy Gilmore. So Caddyshack, I bought the Blu-ray. If you watch the Blu-ray on that film, the producer at the end says, didn't want to make the movie, but at the end of the script, they said they'd blow the golf course up. So I'm going to pay money to blow a golf course up. I want to see that.
Yeah.
They make Tin Cup with Kevin Costner, which is an overlooked gem. You should watch that. If you're watching Commando, you'll watch Tin Cup. And again, when Hollywood makes a movie about golf, they show trick shots. In the climax of the film, Kevin Costner bounces the ball off a portable toilet. So golf is that boring.
His mesh shirt in Tin Cup doesn't work for me, though. That's the one thing that I think it just ages poorly with the chainmail shirt.
One-liners hold up really well, though.
One-liners are- yeah.
So when you see a movie about golf, it's got to be exciting. You only see golf on the news when Tiger Woods was playing it out of a tree or someone stacked it into a lake. You know, that's the only time you're going to see that. So I've always liked trick shots, and this was the reason to make the game, because I think trick shots are really fun. I watched a YouTube channel called Dude Perfect, where these guys like throwing basketballs around and stuff, and I thought it was really fun. And we watched Caddyshack, and we suddenly thought, that's what we need to try and do then. We need to make a golf game for people who don't like golf.
Yeah.
Back when we used to make a driving game for people who didn't like driving games. And, well, I really like driving games, and I quite liked it as well. So if you get both, then you're having quite a good time. And it allows us to do what we like to do, which is make up the rules as we go along and come up with stuff. So one day there was a bug in the game and the ball dropped into a mop bucket, which was there as a prop. And then we're thinking, right then, can you drive the mop bucket? Can you steer it around? Can you ride the bucket to the hole, flip it up and drop the ball into the hole that way? And we came up with the concept, it's called the bucket blast. So the ball is obviously floating in some water there, and you get a crash breaker. See, there you go, crash breaker, there you go. Oops. I can say that because I thought it up in the first place. So I'm only nicking from myself. So here's a bit. This is called tin pin bowling, and that's a splash landing. When you land in a bucket, you get a kicker for landing in all the buckets, and you can fling them around in any direction.
Cool.
You can aim the bucket the same way.
You can aim the
ball.
bucket, because throwing that bucket around
there.
is something that you didn't know you wanted to do until now. So Chris lands in the bucket, and he can fling it around in any direction. And he gets a strike for knocking down all the primary. That's what we call a primary sweep, aka smashdown. If you're above the hole and you pull the trigger and you can bomb the hole, that's called an airstrike. would have called a giant bomb, but he would have sued us.
Yeah,
So-
CBS.
lawyers.
Yeah.
So it's called an airstrike, and then you get to re-tee, so you get to go again. So Chris is going to try and sink the flags in order, but the risk here is that if he shoots them in order, he ends up really far away from the
And
hole.
I'm getting further and further, further away from the hole.
So he's doing pretty well there. So I'd take the money and run, Chris, because they're recording it.
But it's not dangerous.
It's not dangerous enough.
think
And why is it
I've gotta
called
go for
dangerous
it.
golf? Because the ball turns into a giant bomb.
Again, CBS will not. The lawyers.
We have to beep that, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bleep that out. It's, yeah.
And he gets them all down, so that's called a putt down. Off the back wall and in.
Nice.
Looking at the designer. The game's actually playing itself. It's a rendered movie. We created
I was going to
earlier.
say, like,
Outrageous.
some of these shots seem.
Wild. Who wants to play a golf game
It
where a
seems
lot of the time you
difficult.
can put the hole in it?
Yeah.
Well, I think
It's just a piece of stupid fun.
And how long? I mean, you're obviously like designing a lot of these holes. You're knocking these shots out. You've been playing them for quite some time.
Yeah,
This is
Like,
built.
when people come to it fresh,
We
like,
said this the other day. This is the 16,000th playable version of the game we've built. Because if you want to make a good game, right? If you ask a lot of engineers, if you want to make a good game, you've got to be able to play the game. So we had a playable prototype. We had a tablet when we started in the first week. We had no dev kits, right? Because you have to call up Sony and Microsoft
Yeah.
and say, hey, and then, who are you? Never heard of you.
Yeah.
But Microsoft were great and sent us stuff really quickly. And then we, again, I'd watched a video of Mark Tamel talking about the making of Jam. So we made Phil Maguire was starting to, we did about a week and a half, 2 weeks of trying to build stuff on quite limited hardware. And then Phil Maguire made he said, I'm going to work on putting today. So he made a brilliant prototype of breaking some bottles with a swipe gesture. Then we hacked in all the sound effects from the SNES version of Jam. And we suddenly thought, you know what, I think we've got something pretty special here. Let's just make a game where it's just focused about putting. It can't be about par, and it
full
just
golf
can't have
and-
clubs, and it can't have any of that stuff.
I mean, even the people making serious golf games
play
these
this.
days don't make them, or they have to try to spice them up
Hang on,
with
don't
weird
understand- hang on.
stuff.
So the people making golf games don't make them.
They
aren't
don't
any.
make a lot of them. There
No.
are not very many of them. I would actually probably say the same thing about a lot of driving games these days. Like that genre has become.
It's a shame. Driving, I understand that. I kind of have to agree.
Yeah, it's. I mean, because
I think
like
people are waiting for a proper team to come on today's hardware and do something really special and blow that genre up again. I think.
Yeah.
I think.
it's too many real cars. Too many like again, they're chasing reality when. I mean, we're at a point where
reality is boring.
Reality is very boring.
Reality is boring.
And even a company like
The most exciting thing you can do in a serious car game is overtake.
Yeah.
You know.
So why not build a game around that, or crazy drifts? So like something like Ridge Racer works in its own weird way.
I remember Ridge Racer.
Yeah, they used to make those.
They used to make those.
yeah, I loved Richard.
They used to launch every console launch. You had your Ridge Racer game, and then at some point, I don't know, Money Drive. I don't know what happened, but it's a sad state of affairs.
Yeah, we used to like a bit of Reg. So this whole, what Chris used to do is take down these knights and open the door to get to the flag. So each hole is like a bit of a puzzle. It's more of a better puzzle than anything we've kind of made.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of fun making it, right? This game's made by 11 people. We have 2 artists and we have 3 coders. And then the rest of us, we've been making the content and making up the rules for a game that's never been made before, for a sport that's never been made before. And we've had quite a good time doing it. Our company's principles are to make great games, have fun making them, and we're all empowered to make the right decisions every day. So people were putting stuff together. How about we try this? And then as we were making stuff, it took a long time to make one of those busts fall onto the floor and break properly. I mean, it's a very CPU intensive game. It's pushing a lot of new ground. I mean, don't just take my word for it. The guys at Epic and Nvidia will probably vouch for us on that side. Those guys have been awesome to us.
Cool.
So we're a very small indie team in the south of England, just making a game that we want to make, and we've put it out on 3 platforms, and it's a lot of game.
Yeah, and
it's a fun game. It's a fun game, and we hope people enjoy playing it. We've certainly had a good time making it.
And you're very close to being finished here. You're out in June, you said?
Yeah, June. Well, we don't actually get to pick the date, right? 'Cause
okay,
it's like we have to submit, and then you have to go through certification and all that stuff. And then once it's cleared with the format holders, then here's the bathrooms. Then we'll pick a date. But tentatively, we're shooting for the 3rd of June.
All right.
Which we can tell you. Here you go. We'll show you the bathroom from True
Okay,
Eyes.
yeah.
If you're going to put a bathroom in a game, or a lav, as we call it in England,
Sure.
it may as well be the one from the True Lies fight, which is a great, I think, showcase for a lot of things about what can be done in the game. So we did have a version where we were smashing all the tiles down, but it just slowed the game down massively. So the
right.
tiles don't break, but the toilets do. This is a timed hole, so the primitives change.
Oh.
In this one, Chris has to crack 12 urinals, and he earns time for every urinal he hits, and then he'll spawn money flags, and you can knock down the hand dryers, smash down the stalls, and there's a caution wet floor sign there. So Chris is playing against the clock. So the mechanics and how you travel through the holes and how things link together. So there's holes that connect the kitchen to the bathroom, to the back alleyway. So there's some more, I wouldn't say open world because it isn't, but there's some more holes where you're combining different abilities. But this is all still, again, bouncing around a fireball with the Smash Breaker. And then later on we add in different mechanics like glue, where you can stick to the wall. And also, it's a golf game, so in chasing authenticity, bombs.
Naturally, yeah.
Naturally. I wouldn't say the giant bombs because of that, what you mentioned earlier, but they are both bombs that you can plant manually and bombs that go off on a timer. If you sink the ball, you can set the bombs off.
Cool.
So obviously playing golf in a kitchen and a toilet with glue and bombs and mop buckets.
Just like the real thing.
Just like the real thing.
You've captured reality.
I think if Mark Burnett's watching this, this will be the next big TV show. I think. Fantastic. So Chris, in the money, and you can also, we'll show you this in a minute, you can also play the wall off the TV screen, so play the ball off the TV. Yeah. That's called a fourth wall tee or a fourth wall putt.
Nice.
So there's somebody I'm seeing later today actually in San Francisco, a guy called John Davidson, I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
JD, he worked on official PlayStation 2 magazine, I think, back in the day, and he was a big fan of...
He was here for a while as well.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, he was...
He's been around.
Oh, he's been around.
Yeah.
He was a big fan of Burnout 3, and he said, I remember a quote that stayed with me. He said, it was never about the gold medal, it was about how far beyond the gold medal you could go, which I'm still thinking about that kind of many years later. So we wanted to make a game. I remember pinged him and said, we're going to do the game. And we want to make a game, everybody's older, and they want to make a game that they can play with their family. As developers, we want to make games that people can play with their family.
Right.
That's the ethos of our game in terms of how far can you go with scores. How far can you go? Can I try everything? Is that what you're doing? Are you doing a fourth wall tee and to do a double smash down, to do a airstrike re-tee, fourth wall putt with a quadruple ricochet blind, you know?
And then
can you do all those things?
Then you nail all that and look at the online leaderboard and see that someone's got double that score and you have to start over from scratch.
So if you follow me on Twitter, at CrashedAlex, you can see that currently I'm #1 in the world on every hole. So I was the first person in the office to play release on the Xbox. This is a hole made by Fiona called No Use Crying Over Spilt Milk. So what you have to do here is obviously spill all the milk and put the ball, and it's a nice square room so you can do a good trick shot. And there's oil paintings here on the wall, so there's holes here. There's a great hole called Caught Red-Handed where you have to put paint all over paint all over the paintings. So it's about beautiful destruction and playing with physics.
Yeah. That's cool. It's like the number of objects on screen and moving around and stuff. Like it's
against time.
It's
the
the kind of stuff you don't
it's
often see outside of like physics demos and stuff like that. You know, like you look at like some of the stuff that NVIDIA's done, or to test like PhysX and some of that stuff.
Well, so we're using PhysX in the game. So two NVIDIA technologies, PhysX and Flex, which are both fantastic. Flex particularly. You'll see on PC, you'll see a lot more of that. You'll see Flex here on the flag on PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
And we're doing the smooth particle stuff, so you can splat fruit on the screen and it'll drip down the TV.
Cool.
And again, you're looking at some of that stuff. That's some of that stuff with, again, that's why you haven't got games yet where you can play with water. There's no game where you can be a fireman and playing a hose around. We're not really playing with water and stuff yet. And I think a lot of the stuff we looked at, Quicksilver scene from X-Men was a kind of target video, and it's like, can we get there now? No, we can't.
Right.
If you want to do something new, do the tools exist to do it? If not, you're going to have to write them. So do the tools exist? Does the hardware exist to pull that stuff off?
Right.
But this reminds me of working with a small team on the first Burnout in 2000. And at the time, our lead programmer, Richard, who works at HBO now, says, this will be impossible. Are you telling me that AI is going to race through traffic and you're going to make a crash happen up ahead, and the AI is going to see that crash, avoid that crash, and carry on and try and race you to the finish line simply will not happen. Well, he did manage to pull it off, and that was the first Burnout. We made it better with the second one. We made it better again and better again, and it was the start of something. And he didn't get the Smash Breaker, Chris.
Oh.
Don't show this one because it was a terrible demo. But at the start, this is our start. It's like, have we made a physics-based game before? No. Have we made a game on Unreal 4 before? No. Have we made a PS4 game? No. Xbox One? We just haven't. We're a small team. We quit our jobs and pooled our life savings and have made our game. And the reason no one's seen it up until now is because we were waiting to come and show you
Right.
a
Yeah.
finished game.
To get it.
We've only got
to get it done.
We only had the cash to buy one set of plane tickets, so that's why people pinging me and saying, "Hey, I'll see you at PAX and I'll see you at GDC," and it's like,
Absolutely not.
we live 4,000 miles away. How about we see you somewhere next time you're in London, which is probably not very often.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd just come and see you and show you our game.
Great. Well, it looks pretty cool. I'm looking forward to checking it out when you're actually done.
When we're actually done, which is
Any-
very
any
soon.
day now.
Soon, yeah.
Cool.
Which is soon. Would you like to play, Jeff?
Yeah, sure. All right,
play
let's
co-op.
get one in here before we.
Well, you don't play
Before
a
we
bit
let
of
you
co-op? Should we
guys
play a bit of
go.
co-op or?
Yeah, do you want to play co-op or do you
Yeah,
want to
sure.
play regular?
Yes.
Let's
I'll
try.
set you
Let's,
up.
let's take a look at co-op.
And we've unlocked the whole thing here, so that's why it just says new everywhere, but
Right,
new
yeah.
takes you through like to the next hole. So, and everything is built. So the reason why you're kind of saying, hey, it looks like some stuff we've done before is that what we used to do stupidly was throw everything away and start again, which is why all the games kind of look differently.
Right.
What we want to do now is obviously build everything in a sustainable way. So this is the first game from our company. So now we've kind of got a front end, and we've got we know how to do online, and we know how to do co-op. So all that code is now written. So that's our foundation. So the only way is up.
Right, yeah.
The only way is up.
And you've started with like robust physics and all this other stuff that a
Absolutely.
lot of games can
It's
benefit
a small
from that.
company. As a small company working with Unreal, it's very open. So the improvements that you make in Unreal other developers get to benefit from that, and the improvements and the stability fixes we've done with NVIDIA, other people will get to benefit from that.
So you can look around with the right stick and then left
Well,
stick.
I think Jeff knows how to play.
Okay.
think
I think
so-
Jeff knows how to
He's been
play.
watching my hands.
Yeah.
So is it X to fire,
No,
or is that just
Push
for the
forward on the left
So yeah,
stick.
just flick the
Okay.
left stick
Oh,
forward.
right. Okay. All right. And then do I have air control on the first shot or only on the smash breaker?
Only
On the smash break.
Okay. All right. Let's go that way.
And if you want to go in the slow motion, it's R1.
Nice. But because you got the smash down for the champagne bottles, it means I get the champagne bottles on my go now.
Okay.
So if you press,
So it's like a claymore. So it's circle and a direction.
All right.
A huge blast.
so if you press circle, it'll just on its own, it'll zoom to the ball.
Got it. Okay.
And then you get to fire the smash breaker.
All right.
And then it's Warthog, my friend. The easiest way to describe
Yeah.
it.
So yeah, point the camera and then push forward and back to control
Steer
the
the ball.
chaos.
Got it.
And you can also dampen the bounce by using the brake, or accentuate the bounce with the gas.
So which are the triggers.
And the ball gets more powerful the more friction. And you'll run out of time there.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you're going
All
to
right.
pull the triggers to go and put your audio input here. So again, there's a bit of debris in the way.
Yeah. All
Not
right.
pretty.
We have to
Play
deal
it,
with
play
You
it
need
where it
to
lies.
Play it where it lies, absolutely. And then you
So if
can
you hold
hold the
down Y-
triangle.
Sorry, yeah, triangle. If you look,
You'll see the
I
flag.
think it's your left.
Okay.
I wouldn't suggest off the balcony. So now you're almost kind of playing pool, right?
Yeah.
So there it is.
At any point,
There's
what-
the flag, right? So you want to play it through the room,
Oh,
through the
right,
debris,
okay.
and try and sink the
I think
flag.
you want to play it to your right. So try and bounce it off that back wall.
Okay.
As I'm in your team. Well, although Alex can be your teammate.
You're playing together here, yeah.
So now, am I
108,000 and
Am I
bronze.
trying to basically line this up like straight up geometry, just physics, like,
Yeah, yeah.
like bounce the
Yeah.
shot around?
It's
stuff
like
that?
pool.
Okay.
But he won't have any aftertouch on this after he puts?
No.
No.
Okay.
No. But it's a very complicated room, but it's a square room.
Right.
So you can.
That just seems like a bad lie.
Near miss.
Quote, yeah. To quote Roy Walker
Well,
in
now
England,
we're in co-op.
it was good, but not quite there. So,
That's okay.
so you've hosed it there. 57,000, so you're doing pretty well. But luckily, you're playing co-op with one of the designs of the game. So let's see if Chris can save it. So Chris is now playing in the destroyed scene. So have a quick load. We've reset, so the bottles are reset, but the place is still smashed up.
Right.
So if you're
So-
playing with someone who's not as good as you, they might not have got the smash breaker. So skilled players following second, you can still play through the game and unlock it, and then the co-op trophies. if you're both two elites, you can play through the game and go for the. If he gets the smash down, it's a double smash down. So again, you've got to kind of try and leave him something so he can get it. So Chris has ably got the smash breaker.
Right.
Well done, because I didn't get it when I was playing earlier. Chris
I'm
is
going to
now.
go back after those nice champagne bottles you left for
Yeah.
me. Just going to use the break.
2 out of 3.
2 out of 3.
And they fall over and not break? Or
Yeah,
if you-
yeah,
or-
depending on how hard you hit them, yeah.
Okay.
And they've popped their corks, and then the place is a mess. So the satisfaction came from, for us, it's like, can you make a huge mess?
Now
Off the TV, my friend.
Yeah, well, now you could be with your buddy, and it's like, well, we've got bronze, we're happy with that. Or you could like, but what if I turn my back on the hole, and then try and play it really high off the wall, and then maybe it will land on the table and clip one of the champagne bottles and still go in.
How about just play it off? I would play it off the TV.
But maybe I'll just play it off the TV.
I'd play it off the TV.
Yeah, I think I will. So,
Off and in, and off the back
come
wall.
on, there we go.
So you get a kicker for doing a fourth wall tee or a fourth wall putt. Simple to play,
Yeah.
difficult to master.
Yeah.
100 holes, 10 tours.
100 holes. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, is it? So
There's 100 of these.
So again, so there's 10
it's like a
tours.
10
10
environments.
tours. So golf has the Open. We've got the Sorry We're Closed. They've got the Masters. We've got the Terribles. You've got the Super Bowl, which is American football, but we've got the Super Fruit Bowl. We've got another tour called the Back of the Head with a Plastic Cup. And then the final tour is called the End of the Tour.
Cool.
And we managed a respectable silver medal there. So
Yeah, that's
co-op
teamwork,
medal.
good. Yeah. a
All
co-op
right.
medal, yeah.
A comp medal, and you also there's rewards which you earn. You also earn Smash headlines, and you also earn some Smash Polaroids, earned for doing
Signature
milestone
smashes.
things, signature smashes
Okay, yes.
things that you'll earn through breaking things along the way.
Right.
And it's a game of one-upmanship, and it is just a piece of pure stupid fun.
Cool.
I can't describe it as anything other than that. It's a piece of stupid fun, and we hope people like playing it. We had a lot of good time making it.
Alex, Chris, thanks so much for coming over.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting some more time in with it. Dangerous Golf. It's, so no set date, but you're shooting for early June.
We're hoping for early June. Yeah, let's
Okay.
say June the 3rd. But
All right.
subject to change because
Subject
it's
to
out of
change.
our hands.
Right. All right. Thanks.
Thanks very much.